The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. We have from our offices here at 100 South Broad Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the home of the opening of the NFL season tonight with Carson Wentz and the world champion Philadelphia Eagles playing the Atlanta Falcons. And also we have, as our halftime guest on that show, will be none other than Norman. We call it to the minute Winsky. He'll be on from Astro Trends at the break to show us what he's looking at, and he's done some great work through the years for us, and we'll keep an eye on what he's got coming up because we've got a big new moon coming up here, folks, on Sunday, so that'll be an interesting one to take a look at. Okay, let's get on to what we're going to watch here first, which is the cryptocurrencies. They're in the news. As you can see, Bitcoin is now down $1,000 from the time when Goldman Sachs came out and said they were no longer going to have a trading desk for cryptocurrencies. And that was maybe the reason behind it or not, we don't know. But all we do know is that we've been waiting for a price of around $3,800 to $4,000 in Bitcoin. That'll be a longer-term chart. We're going to show that next week, and it'll show you the difference between what really happened in some of these manias that we've looked at and what is going on with the Bitcoin and blockchain and that type of thing. Now, this is just my opinion. It's all technical. What I know about Bitcoin and also cryptocurrencies, you can write on the head of a needle in boldface type because I only look at the charts. I don't know anything about it, so we'll have to pay attention to it. I do have access to some pretty smart people that say this is the coming thing, much like the internet was back in 1996. And anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Okay, let's pay one other thing that we need to pay attention to this morning, folks, and that is the fact that we've had a really nice move here in silver and gold. As you know, silver came off of that big 1.618 expansion down there. We rallied almost $2,000 an ounce since that time. And if we take a look at this recent chart that we just got from one of our listeners up there in the in Washington, right there in the Oregon River, and he showed us that we've had a daily sentiment in silver is as bearish as it gets, and you can see the price here. We've actually gone up another 12 cents since this was published. But if we are at point Y, this could be one heck of a move. Even if it just makes a 38% retracement, folks, that would be equivalent to $7,500. Whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know, but it does have the earmarks if it's starting. Had you bought that stuff this week, then what you want to do is put your stop at break even, so you wouldn't have to risk anything at all. That's the only way you can do it. And don't watch the darn machine. It's really a negative thing to really do. Someone else asked a question this morning, and that is the fact that if you're trading on a 15-minute chart, and you get a beautiful pattern on a 15-minute chart, you need to stay on that 15-minute chart. Now, if you got some verification that that 15-minute chart is also something on a 4-hour or daily or something much larger, that's okay. But if you're trading that 15-minute chart, stay on that 15-minute chart because all these chart patterns are different based on the time frame you're listening to or watching. So that's very important because many people, they put a 15-minute chart on and it starts working great. Let's take silver, for example, and the next thing they do is looking at the monthly chart. Hello, Earth to trader. No, you can't do that. This is all about risk control, folks. So keep in mind that it's the amount of money that you risk, and you risk less on a 15-minute chart than you do on a chart that is much larger. I hope that explains what I'm trying to get across here, but I think it's a spot that we really need to focus on, because if you're gonna mix and match time frames, you're in big trouble. As a matter of fact, if you took off the date and also took off the price, you would not be able to tell you what chart it is. I don't care who it is. No one can do that. All charts look alike, and if you took off the time and the date and stuff, there might be an instance of gaps or something that you might be able to find something, but not on a smaller time frame like 15-minute, half hour, hourly, maybe on a daily, but nothing else. Since we're talking about that, let's take a quick review here of what we were looking at just a week or so ago with our good friend Facebook, who's in the news. They were getting hammered yesterday on the floor there at the Senate. As you'll notice here, we had the big island reversal up there that day. Folks, the only way that you can take advantage of that island reversal is if you're trading a 3-drive to a top pattern and you happen to get in and use a hope and pray method, because you have no idea that market's going to gap down 50 points the next day. It's nice when it does, but the key was, look how it rallied. It rallied to a perfect 382 retracement right on the money at 186, and now we're trading at 166, and it looks like we're heading down to either or the 156 level or possibly the ABCD structure on this 382 retracement will take you down to 136 in Facebook, and that's still a high price, given where they are. So that's just one of them. Let's take a look at another one that we've been watching, of course, and that is the Tesla. Let's get Tesla up here so we can take a quick look at it, and then we'll move on to the TWIT, and we'll get up here with Tesla. Here we have same thing happening in Tesla. Just get it up here. Hold on here, boys and girls. You'll notice we did the same pattern in Tesla, but this was a lot different, because you'll notice that when the ABCD pattern completed up there, that's when the news came out that they were going to take the company private. Judge's ruling. Not so, because that was baloney. And what happened? Bada bing, bada boom. We go from 386. We drop down $106 a share. We're trading at around 280 today. But the rally back, look at the rally back, exactly like Facebook. We make a high at 386. We come down to 286. We rally exactly to a 382 retracement at 326 and change. And as you notice, the marking there was resistance. We talked about that there on the air about that. And you can see now that we're coming down. And not only that, we're coming down quickly. And that's due to some downgrades and the fact that Mercedes-Benz is coming out with an electric car. And we'll see what happens. Anyway, you'll notice that the ABCD structure on this takes you down to 222. That's a 1.618 expansion. That's down another 30% from where we are right now. And if it did that, that would be a 3-drive to a bottom pattern on the long-term weekly chart. So I believe there's a really high probability that Tesla is heading towards 222. That's what it looks like from where I'm sitting this morning. But whether that's going to be the case or not, I'm not sure. But we'll find out soon enough. But that's another one. Now we need to look at Twitter, but unfortunately we have to pay a few bills for our good friends here at TFNN, and then when we get back, we will talk about the TWIT.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, we're back, and I want to bring up the chart here of Twitter. As you can see here, we have the same type of a situation that we had in Facebook, but the difference is you'll notice that when Twitter made the high with the big ABCD pattern, you'll notice that it went sideways for quite a bit, and then when it gapped down, it left that huge island reversal. The only way you can take advantage of that is to be short, during that time when it closes near the low end of the range, hoping that it's going to gap down. This time it did, but that's the only way you can really take advantage of that, in my opinion. If you remember this chart, this was very important because we had our good friend Al Larson on talking about Twitter, way back when, and it was a real interest because of the fact that we had a real interesting chart there right at that 78% level. You'll notice that was right there at the end of June, and the market gapped above that 78% level, and it went all the way from 35, it rallied all the way up to 48.50 a share and completed the ABCD pattern. But the key here is when it broke down, we stopped at the 78% level there at roughly $30.50 per share. Then we were able to rally 10% up to around about 35 and a half, 36 and a half. Well, not even that high, 35 and a half. And now we've gapped down, and now we're heading down. This sets up an ABCD pattern here in Twitter. You can see all the way down to $20 a share. That's down another 40% from where we are right now. So we'll see if that's what we're looking at. When I watched a little bit of the hearing yesterday, and Mr. I think his name is Darcy. Anyway, he looks like Wolfman Jack, but he's a pretty rich dude. So that's the main thing to keep in mind. I wanted to share something with you folks. It's that we watch really closely, and that is the leverage market for bonds, especially the smaller bonds, junk bonds and stuff like that. But hold on here one second. I want to get this up. This comes from one of our favorite folks. It gives us a lot of good information. You can see the growth of leverage loans that has been going on from 2008 to where we are, right now. I mean, this is a huge amount. We went from roughly 596 billion up to 1.04 trillion in just a very, very short time of 10 years. So this is a very, 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 very illiquid market in some aspects. So I believe that when this next when the next market correction comes, it's going to be related to interest rates and not related to the stocks, because the stocks have basically, we've lost a lot of players in the stock market because the big market has moved up with about, 30, 40, or 50 stocks at most. The rest of them have been left behind. So that's my 2 cents worth. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go through and look at some of these. So those are the main three: Tesla and Twitter and Facebook. They have similar type patterns, and they are pointing for much lower prices. Whether that will continue or not, remains to be seen. Okay, we got one other question here, and then we'll get on to some more charts. This one is very near and dear to my heart, folks. The question was, how did I make a lot of money back in the 60s and 70s? And I will basically show you what I was doing. If you notice the little cycle that I've got there that shows 47 and 94, I just picked JP Morgan, just picked a stock, and just wanted to show you the theory behind what I did. This was in 1970. I was reading the book, The Profit Magic of Stock Transaction Timing by James Hurst, who later became my customer at Drexel Burnham Lambert. He talked about nominal cycles. A nominal cycle is a cycle like an 18 or 36, 72-day cycle that repeats over and over again. He had some cycle theory. Most of them proved to be wrong, but during the time I was doing it, they proved to be right. And what I was doing is I was buying the 47-day cycle bottoms. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but fortunately, I was in commodities, and the cycles were much shorter. They were 18 days, 9 days, 36 days, and eventually, 72 days. But that's what I was doing, and I drew a valid trend line. The valid trend line has to be based on Fibonacci retracement numbers. In other words, from point A, which is the high, the first retracement should be at a 618 or a 786. And when you break above that retracement level, that leads, to a much, much higher price, usually. Now, this stopped working, of course, in mid-1973, and it's never really worked very well since that time. It works really good for 1 or 2 cycles, but for more than that, folks, these nominal cycles just do not work. That's why I firmly believe that these cycles that we're looking at are astrological. When I was writing the book with Dr. Ruth Miller, the viewpoints of a commodity trader with astrocycles, a trader's viewpoint. God, that's 30-some years ago. The key to me really understanding astrology, and I understood a little bit because of Mary Rivers back in the old days of Drexel, but in 1974, we had a very unusual astrological event. In October of that year, we had multiple conjunctions and oppositions, and then we had the same thing happen in December of that year. I put that in the book to show that these cycles were all coming together right at the lows. We had a double bottom in the Dow right around 500. And that was a real key to really watch. And then when I saw this happen in 1987, I saw it happen in other years, but 1987 was a big one. And then, of course, we had that really big one in March the 9th of 2009. But that's how I really got into it, and it was all cycle related. And the problem is that when the market turned down, let's say you had an 18-day cycle and your 18-day cycle bottomed, and boy, it really took off and rallied for 3 or 4 days, and you looked really smart. Well, that happened to be the high, and bada bing, bada boom, down it would go for $15. Well, it didn't take very much to realize that things were not right. The question is, where did Ruth get her education? I was a family friend of the Turner family. Ruth. It was her maiden name was Turner, and Terry and John were the farmers, and Ruth taught economics at Indiana University, and And she was self-taught. She basically read everything in sight, and being the generous person that she was, she had a lot of friends that they shared information with, and that's how it all happened. She contacted me back in August of 1986 saying, I've got something that will fit in with that Fibonacci stuff that you're looking at. It's all related to astrology. Why don't you come back to Indiana? And I was in Avila Beach, California, and I said, well, I didn't want to, but then she gave me a prediction about where soybeans were going to close, and by golly, they closed within about 2 cents of that, and she gave me that 6 weeks ahead of time. And so what I did was I went down to Sarasota, Florida. I spent 7 weeks in Sarasota from November the 2nd, and I got back right after Christmas. It was almost 2 months, and then shortly thereafter, I put the book together, and it turned out to be good. But that's how I got into it. I don't have the answers to astrology, but nobody else does either. Norm's pretty good, but even he has some times where maybe once a month he's wrong. Anyway, we're going to talk to Norm Winski coming up next. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're talking with Norm Winski of Astro Trend down there in beautiful Naples, Florida. Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir, Larry. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Any problem with the storm so far here in the hurricane season?
You know what, Larry? I know the tropical storm went through here a couple days ago, and you could barely tell it because you know what, Larry? It rains like that almost every day here, right? In the summertime.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. Don't you have big winds, though, with the hurricanes?
I didn't see, there was no hurricane. It was like a subtropical storm. And I looked out my window and I didn't see that much wind. It was a lot of rain, but that was about it.
Well, hey,
I've seen some big storms. Well, a year ago, you might remember, I was
oh my gosh,
running away from a hurricane. First time ever.
Yep.
I've been here 24 years or so, and that was the first time I ever had to leave my house.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
so anyway,
you had very little damage with that one too, didn't you?
A little bit. Maybe a couple $1,000s worth.
Okay.
And,
Norm, what do you got for us today? What are you looking at today?
All right, we got a whole bunch of stuff coming up here, but first I just want to say normally I review, but I'm told we don't have enough time for that. That's where the big lessons are. If you go back and look at what the past forecasts were, and you can see how things came out. So I recommend everybody, last time I was on, it was August 24th, go get the archive version of that show and watch those cycles. And the reason I have the coffee here first, because right now, my top things, for anybody who's listened to me before knows that one of my top things are when the planets turn due to the relative motion of the Earth to the other planets, it appears, that's the operative word, it appears that the planets look like they occasionally will stop to reverse their direction to turn backwards, that's retrograde, or forward, that's direct. And that's one of my top things. And there's for different planets or different markets indicated. Let's go back just for a moment and look at back when I was on here on August 24th. And I said that was a Friday the 24th. Mars was about ready to turn direct in the sign of Capricorn on Monday the 27th. And there you go. There's the coffee moving up. I said, if the coffee continues to rally into about Monday or so, that's probably going to be a short-term top. And then if it rolls over and comes back down, we might have a great opportunity after Labor Day when Saturn turns direct on the night of the 5th, early part of the 6th, for a great buy if it goes back down and retests the highs. That worked almost to perfection except for one thing. The coffee couldn't wait for that. It kind of started rallying a day or two ago. So that's not the most constructive picture there, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe this thing will come back down here in the next day or so and retest the lows again. That's what I'd want to see if I'd want to looking to buy the coffee, right? So anyway, now that leads me right into what is it we look for when we look for sort of the ideal trade. We look for a big cycle. The bigger the cycle, the bigger the cluster of cycles, the better, and it indicates that market. And we want that market to be at some kind of extreme. Ideally at the top of the trading channel, the bottom of the trading channel, at some major Fibonacci retracement or something to indicate that you have some kind of major support or resistance at that level. At that time, you get time and price. I'm a student of Mr. W.D. Gantt, probably the greatest market technician of all time, and he said you want time and price to come together, and time is more important than price. If you are one of those people who are price-oriented, which is what most traders do, I'd recommend turning your model around and look for your time cycles first, because no market will turn before its time. And so if you're used to seeing a market reverse and then let's say the market had a big down and now it's going back up, and you're looking to sell those Fibonacci retracements, and you've had the experience where you sell a retracement and then the market just keeps going and you keep getting stopped out, that's what I would tell you. Go find the cycles for that market, and then you won't be getting stopped out so often. You'll increase your winning rate, your batting average, All right, so the next thing we have Saturn, by the way, in the stock market, I know most of the people out there watch the stock market. The stock market is the big basket of everything. It's kind of the exception of the rule to what I'm going to show you, because if the planets are doing anything important, that you have to look at the stock market. The stock market is responds to all these things. Kind of think of a radio tuner, on your radio there. You tune to a certain frequency because you want to hear a certain type of music or whatever. But the stock market has no filters. The way a tuner works is it filters out all the other frequencies when you tune to that frequency. But the stock market is like a radio. You turn it on and you hear all the radio stations all at once. Versus commodities are very narrow filters, and they're only tuned to that one frequency, you see. So here we go now to overnight. The 5th AC is after the close, so overnight here we had heliocentric. That's from the point of view of the sun enter Mars. So this is kind of a short intermediate term thing. We'd be looking for a change in trend. Unfortunately, kind of like the coffee, maybe the Labor Day holiday threw the rhythm of these markets off a little bit. It jumped the gun on us. If we were up here today, I'd be all excited. It's like, wow. We've got Mars going into Pisces, that's oil, and I'd be looking for a change in trend here. So maybe we need this market to go down to some sort of extreme. We're based on the price action the last day or two, we kind of spoiled the party here. Now we're kind of stuck in the middle, and I don't want to be trading. That's what you don't want. You don't want a market that's in the middle. You want looking for the extremes. So I would just for now, I would take a pass on that. If by some miracle crude oil can drop toward the bottom here, go back to the top in the next day or so, then I might take another look, All right, now here's what's coming up this weekend, and I got to make sure right now, today, we got a big cycle hitting for the U.S. This should be theoretically, and these things sometimes flip upside down, but this should be really, Jupiter is the happiest planet in the solar system, and it's lining up with the moon. That's based on what's called a natal chart. We take a snapshot of the planets at the beginning of something, like the beginning of the country, or when you were born, or whatever that is, or you can do corporations. When I was on the CBOE, I used to trade stocks, and I sometimes had better information than the insiders did. I had legal inside information. I would make a prediction, and it would all come true, and I even made a forecast one time about the company was going to come out with the earnings, exaggerate the earnings, and I made money on that. And then later on, they came back and said, "Well, we exaggerated our earnings." So there you go. I knew more than they did. So anyway, so these natal charts can work if you find the right one that works. It's probably going to work forever, So anyway, I got the U.S. natal chart, and we got Jupiter lining up with the U.S. moon. That should be something really positive. Maybe they're gonna announce we struck a deal with those crazy Canadians tonight, today or something. But then after that, then we got a big cluster of potentially very negative cycle. So it's like a reversal here. Whatever happens here in the next 24 hours or so probably will get reversed into the weekend, because we had a massive, I seldom seen anything like this before. Pluto is really nasty, can be really nasty planet, and it takes no prisoners, and Pluto's lining up with 3 different planets in the U.S. over the weekend here. Also, I almost forgot, and I didn't include it in my notes, is that we have a new moon, as you mentioned, Larry, on Sunday. I guess we'll talk about the new moon, though, after the music.
After we have to pay some bills. We'll be back with Norm Winsky of AstroTrend, 877-927-6648.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I still think we're talking with Norm Winsky of AstroTrend. Norm, are you still there?
I think he left. No, I'm just joking.
He did. Okay, how about his younger brother? Is he there?
Yep, the evil twin is here. Okay.
Well, Norm, the question that I have for you from one of our listeners is that you talked pretty emphatically about this Pluto thing. How often does this occur?
I couldn't tell you that. I don't have that kind of computer that would. I could punch that in and it could tell me, but I'm telling you, it's pretty rare to have this huge cluster like this, you know? And when we have a big cluster like this to the U.S., that's what we're talking about here for right now, is what you want to be looking at are the 3 U.S. financial markets are U.S. stocks, T-bonds, and the U.S. dollar. Those are probably the markets that you want to take a look at. Not guaranteed you're going to get a good trade. You got to look at the chart and see if it's at an extreme or not, and then you might get a reversal. We also, over the weekend, have a new moon in the sign of Virgo, which I forgot to put in the notes. And that's, our usual suspects we round up for the full moons and new moons are your financials, your precious metals, and your grains. And this new moon lands in the sign of Virgo, which in particular is soybeans. So I'm sorry I did not include that in my written notes. I'd already sent these out when I realized I was headed off to bed, and I go, uh-oh, I left out the new moon. So we're calling an audible here, Larry.
Okay.
As a tribute to the beginning of the football season, right? There you go. So I quantify now. I know for people who are new to these planetary cycles and so forth, this stuff looks complicated. It might as well be in Greek, you know. But guess what? In my letter, I reduce this stuff all to very simple terms. I quantify everything and reduce it to numbers. So if you know that 20 is bigger than 10, you can do this. You don't have to be smarter than a 5th grader to do what I'm doing here, because in my letter, if I don't know anything else, Larry, I'm good at distilling lots of information into a simple form that anybody can understand. That's I may not be real smart, but that's what I have a talent for that, you know. It goes back several generations in the distilling line.
Well, all I know is the 5th grade were the 3 hardest years I ever had in preschool. That's all I can tell you.
There you go.
Norm, I have a question from one of our listeners here. You were mentioning about the way you were looking at these things. Do you use a computer program for your astro work, or how?
I have a computer program that spits out all the planetary activity. Not all of it, 95% of it. There are a few things that the program does not cover, and then I have to go dig them up on the internet, and I get tables and so forth. Then I have to add those manually. A few things.
Okay, and what is that program, Norm? Can you tell us or not?
Yep, I'm going to tell you. The super secret program is called WinStar. It's
Windstar, okay.
Yep, Windstar was originally a you probably know Michael Irwine of Michigan there.
Sure, I remember going up there. You betcha. They had Blue Star for a while. Wasn't Blue Star important?
Blue Star was the predecessor to Windstar. And then Michael is about your age, Larry, so he decided to retire a couple of years ago and sold his company to, do you know the guy Cochran in Gainesville? Has the
I know of him, but I don't know him personally. I just know who he is.
He bought out the Matrix. That was the name of the company in Michigan.
That's
he
right,
bought out
Matrix
so now it's like a division of the guy in Gainesville's company now. All right, anyway, let's get through the charts here. So here's your charts. S&P is unfortunately kind of stuck in the middle, so that's not very helpful. I talked about Saturn turning direct today, and the last 3 or 4 in a row of planets turning retrograde or direct were all very good trading opportunities for you in the past, going back to late July. And here's your bonds here. They look like if the bonds could pull back just a little bit, we might hit this green line here, and that would be a good thing by Monday. We need some of these American, U.S. Financial markets to get to one side of the channel or the other by, say, Monday. Right? If that happens, then you might have a good trade. Here's your dollar, kind of just a bit, a hair off, a tad off of the bottom of its channel. So if it went back and retested its channel by Monday, that is a possible trade there for you. Right? Obviously, I didn't include the euro, which I might just because of the new moon, but I left out the new moon and the things related to that, so I apologize for that. Coming up here on Monday night, we have geocentric from the point of view of the Earth. Mars is going to change signs. Often when the Mars changes signs, we get a 1 to 2 day correction in the stock market. And my theory on that is, you have your money manager rotation in the stock market. And I think when Mars or a planet changes sides, you get a change in emphasis. And then the money managers are all shifting the chairs around there on the Titanic. And we get a correction for a couple of days while they shift their money from one sector to another, right? So that's indicating Aquarius is copper. And so there you go. Copper's scraping along the bottom of its channel there. So wait till Monday night and see where we're at on the copper, Here's moving ahead here to the night of the Tuesday night, the 11th. We got some kind of a small to medium-sized cycle involving these markets: cocoa, coffee, hogs. Nobody cares about oats, stocks and bonds. The charts I didn't show yet that we have here are cocoa, which is had a beautiful rally here back in late August, early, well, that was August, late August. And now we're kind of scraping across the top of across these tops here. Waited a few days to Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Might take a look at that. Here's your hogs. It kind of traded into kind of a wedgie pattern here. And so keep an eye on this. This is kind of your shopping list, possible trades. And you want to look at these charts at the indicated time. It's not automatic, right? Okay, so now we're going to go up here now and look at the morning of the 13th. That'll be next Thursday. We have, from the point of view of the sun, Helio Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, and it's doing a harmonic aspect to Neptune, which is, Taurus, the bull, is obviously cattle and is also cotton, and then we have Neptune involved. In Pisces, that's oil. So you're going to be looking at that time, going to be looking at your cattle and your cotton. And there we go. They got another big cycle coming up at the end of next week for the U.S., which is your U.S. stocks, T-bonds, and dollar. So here we go. Now, here's the interesting thing. It only occurs once every 2 years. This will be a week from this weekend. It will be Mars. Every 2 years gets to what's called perihelion. Mars will be at its closest point to the sun. That only occurs about every 2 years. And because the sun is involved, we want to be looking at corn, gold, OJ, and stocks. Okay, there you go. And there's your gold. So watch about a week from now. You might get an important cycle for gold. All right, and there we go. So we got through all the charts now, Larry, and I don't know how much more time we have.
Well, we've got about another minute, but why don't you, I have a couple questions from a couple of our listeners, and that is, did you look at any of the material that you got from the lady who was the astrologer for J.P. Morgan, and do you have anything you'd like to share about that. What was her name again? It was
That was
Evangeline Adams. That's right, Evangeline Adams. Anyway, any experience you have with that, or that you'd like to share?
It's not what you would think. That was back in the 70s, and I was a greedy young guy there looking for the secrets to the markets. And I thought, it was a once in a lifetime thing that came to me, and I had a chance to buy her collection, thinking that I was going to learn secrets of the markets, and they weren't there. Not there.
Hey, but stay with us, Norm. We'll be right back, okay? Norm Winski of Astro Trend.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're back with Norm Winski from Astro Trend. Norm, you want to tell the folks how they can reach you down there in sunny Florida?
So just for the folks who are new to me, haven't heard me before, I've got almost as much experience as Larry. I got almost over 50 years studying the markets, and I was a Chicago floor trader for 12 years on the CBOE and the Chicago Board of Trade, so I got a little bit of experience. Been studying this stuff and studying the astrology since the early 70s, and that's what motivated me to go buy a seat on the CBOE when it was less than 2 years old. I thought I would have an advantage over my competitors, and that worked out fairly well. So here we go. So you don't have to be, I know some of this stuff looks great, looks like a foreign language, but I promise you in my letter, I reduce this to pretty much numbers. And if you know that 20 is bigger than 20 is bigger than 10, you can do this. Okay,
So,
so
20 bigger than 10. That's the key.
Yeah, you might want to write that down, Larry.
Okay, I think. How about 40 bigger than 20?
Oh, I'll have to get my calculator out for that.
Sorry, Norm.
All right.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so here we go. So make sure you. So I give you a free letter and a free class, individual class, you and me, on Skype, whoever it is, And if you were to do this with anybody else, they'd probably charge you thousands of dollars. My wife says you're crazy to give away all that information, but I guess that's the way I am. So there you go. You're going to learn some astro. You're going to learn about fractals. You're going to learn advanced Fibonacci, time cycles. That's the key. You want to improve your timing, you got to put time before price, okay?
Gosh.
And I'm going to show you how to do that. My signals average. I can show you my signals average about 75% a win rate. So that's pretty good, I think. And so if you want to improve your, I don't know what you're batting out there, but if you're not up there at that level, you should call me right away. I got a couple spots left. There's my contact info there. The phone, make sure you use this email address, mwinski@imparkmail.com, or Skype me at norm.winski. Looking forward to helping some of your folks there, Larry.
Thanks a lot, Norm. Have a wonderful weekend. 877-927-6648.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks!